Namaste. Welcome to Yoga Kirtan Hawaii. My name is Drisha Krishnadas. I'll be your presenter tonight. Yoga Kirtan Hawaii is a group of people that likes to engage in kirtan, and you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We have events on a regular basis. Tonight we'll be doing an introduction to meditation. We're going to be looking at 3 different types of mantra meditation tonight, starting with kirtan, and then we'll be doing a deep yoga breathing, and then we're going to follow that up with some japa meditation, and then we'll have talk a little bit about mantra meditation in general, and then we will go into a kirtan at the very end. We'll take about an hour for all of this. So thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed tonight's journey into meditation. So, what is meditation? Meditation is the process of actually going within. In this life, we have the tendency to do everything externally. We look outside of ourselves for our pleasure. We look outside of ourselves for entertainment. We look outside of ourselves for information. We look outside of ourselves for knowledge. We look outside of ourselves for love. Meditation is it's the process of actually going deep within and looking for our spiritual essence and actually making that spiritual connection. So, we're going to start out with a type of meditation called mantra meditation, and this is kirtan. So, mantra is a Sanskrit word, and it comes 2 syllables, man and tra. So, man means mind, and tra means to free or deliver. So, a mantra is a transcendental sound vibration that will actually has the potency to transform our mind to a transcendental state of consciousness. Now, what do we mean by a transcendental state of consciousness? In this world, in this life, we are limited by time and space. Right? In order for you to be here with me tonight, you're not somewhere else. You're limited by time and space. You have to choose. Am I going to attend this Yoga Kirtan Hawaii class, or am I going to do something else tonight? You have to choose. I'm going to be here, or am I going to be there? This is limitation of time and space. A spiritual sound vibration, or transcendental sound vibration, goes beyond time and space. It's not limited. So this transcendental sound is coming from a spiritual realm, and it is an eternal sound. Everything that we experience in this world tends to be a temporary manifestation of one thing or another. But this transcendental sound is an eternal sound. And if we take this transcendental sound, we let it come into our ears, take it into our heart, let it enter into our consciousness, we'll find that it will actually transform our consciousness and allow us to experience a higher sense of happiness, a higher sense of peace, a higher sense of love. It is a practice. It is something that you should plan on incorporating into your daily life, because you will experience it. The more you do it, the more benefit you get from it. It's kind of like any other thing you do in the world. If I want to become a marathon runner, for example, I'm going to actually have to train to run a marathon. I can't just get up one morning and decide I'm going to be a marathon runner and go out and run 26 miles. No, my body's going to collapse. It's not going to make it. I won't be able to run 26 miles just from the get-go. And this spiritual practice is similar in some ways. So it is a practice. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. The more you do it, the deeper you'll be able to go into your meditation. The more you do it, the more your mind will become free from the tunnel vision that tends to take over our lives. We get so involved with the day-to-day, right? I have to get up, I have to get ready to go to work, I have to go to work, I have to deal with all the problems I have at work, I have to get something to eat, I have to get back home, I've got to fight the traffic, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And the next thing you know, my day is gone. And I collapse into bed, a bundle of nerves, and I get up the next morning and have to do it all over again. But nothing's really changed in my life. It's just like you're on this treadmill where you're just running and running and running, but never getting anywhere. So transcendental meditation adds a light to the end of your tunnel. It gives you a different worldview. When you start participating in meditation, mantra meditation, it actually lets you see the world in a different light. You start to realize your eternal nature. You start to realize that everything in this world is temporary and therefore not really that important because it's only going to last so long. But we're talking about realizations here. We're not talking about just an intellectual understanding. You may hear these words and you may take them into your mind and you may come to some conclusion and you may think you understand what it means. But really what meditation is about it's about having realization. And realization means where you actually experience it, that it actually becomes real to you. So when we say that you realize the mantra meditation, it means that you actually start to have a taste of spirituality, something that goes beyond this limited time and space of the material platform. So tonight we're going to just do some very simple mantra meditation. We're going to start with what's called Kirtan. Kirtan it's actually the most powerful form of mantra meditation. And it's very wonderful, and it's done in a group setting, and it's a call and response type of meditation. So there will be what is called a kirtan leader. In this case, it's going to be me. And I'm going to chant a mantra, and you're going to listen. You're going to allow this mantra to come into your ears. You're going to take it into your heart. Then you're going to offer this mantra back to me. And it's actually an exchange. It's a spiritual exchange. And it's actually the beginning of an actual loving exchange on the spiritual level instead of on the material level. So it's a very wonderful thing. And this mantra meditation can actually transform your consciousness very quickly. I remember when I first was introduced to this process, my brother actually introduced me to it, and he was speaking to me, and he was explaining all these things about the difference between material energy and spiritual energy and transcendental this and transcendental that. And I was an 18-year-old punk, right? This kind of went right over my head. Didn't mean anything to me. But then he got out his guitar, and we had a kirtan. And the experience of kirtan to me was just so amazing. It was an experience like none I'd ever had in my life. It took me to this other state of consciousness that I never wanted to leave. It was just, you can't explain it in words, you just have to experience it. So, with that, we're going to experience some kirtan here. We're going to do, these will be short mantras, 1 or 2 words. They're very simple. If you just listen, you'll be able to get them. One of them is Hari Bol. Hari Bol means to chant these transcendental sounds. The other one is Nitai Gaur, and then we'll be chanting Gauranga, Gauranga. And then we'll be chanting Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madana, Mohana. But I will, through the course of the kirtan, I'll be introducing each part of the mantra as we go. So if you simply listen and chant along, then I think you'll pick it up very quickly. Hari Bol Nitai Gaur, Nitaigo, Haribo. Your turn. Haribo, Nitaigo, Nitaigo, Haribo. 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 Oranga, Oranga. Oranga, Oranga. Oranga, Oranga. Oranga, Gopala, Haribo. So that is a sample of kirtan. A wonderful thing about kirtan is that you don't have to have an instrument. You can simply clap your hands, or you can have some kind of percussion, or you can just sing a cappella. And you can choose any kind of tune. If you're in a happy mood, you can have an upbeat tune. If you're kind of melancholy mood, you can have a more mellow tune. You'll find that many of your songs that you listen to on a regular basis or whatever, have heard beautiful songs, you can fit the mantra to it. And you can take this, and it's a wonderful way to engage in social settings. Human beings, and actually almost all living entities, are social creatures. This is because our very essence is spiritual love, really. So we're always seeking this spiritual relationship. We're always seeking to have relationships with other people. Unfortunately, in the material world, we tend to make a mess of these relationships. We have what's called the false ego, and the false ego tends to get in the way of a proper relationship. So this kirtan allows us to have a social interaction on the deepest level, actually, on the spiritual level, a level that transcends the material modes of the material world, and allows us to actually connect with each other on a very deep and spiritual level. So while you're chanting your kirtan, you may notice that, especially in the beginning when you're new to kirtan, you'll find that your mind might tend to drift away. You might start to think about some problem you had at work. You might start to think of, oh, I have to do this tomorrow. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. That's normal. Your mind, that's the nature of the mind. The mind is always flickering from one thing to another. It's kind of compared to a little monkey. It's always jumping to this thing, to that thing, and going back and forth. So what mantra meditation does, and this kirtan is a wonderful practice where it likes us to try to control the mind, calm the mind down, bring it in, let it focus on the spiritual sound. Let the spiritual sound bathe your consciousness. Let it calm you down. Let it take you to that other platform. By the way, I happen to be coming to you from the Big Island tonight, so you might hear our coqui frogs in the background here. They're chirping away. They'll be going on pretty much all night. Hope they're not too disturbing to you. The disadvantage, if there is one, to kirtan is that it requires more than one person, right? You have to be in a setting where you can actually have friends around to chant with, and you have to be in a setting where you can sing out loud. And this is what kirtan is. It's congregational singing and hearing of these transcendental sound vibrations. So we're not always in a position or in a circumstance where we can engage in kirtan. Fortunately, there's other ways to engage in mantra meditation. And the one we're going to do next is called deep peace breathing. This is a wonderful practice when you're experiencing a lot of stress, or if you just need to kind of wind down before you go to bed at night. It's a very calming process. We'll use the same mantra, the Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madana, Mohana. Actually, no, we won't. We'll use the Garanga breathing. We'll use the Garanga mantra that we did, Goranga. And we're going to stretch it out into 4 syllables, Goranga. So what you want to do is you want to sit comfortably, either cross-legged or just in a normal chair. But you just want to relax. You want to sit someplace where you can be very comfortable. Not so comfortable that you fall asleep, but comfortable. Let your hands relax. Let your shoulders relax. And just take a minute to consciously relax every aspect of your body. I found that it's good practice to kind of start with the feet. A lot of people, you've been on your feet all day, you've been walking, you've been wearing these uncomfortable shoes or whatever, and you tend to store a lot of tension in your feet. So kind of wiggle your toes a little bit. Just let the tension come out of your feet. Relax your feet, relax your ankles. Let it come up to your calves, your knees, your thighs. Just let everything relax. Just let it kind of sink into the chair. Then start working up. There's your back. Your back's been doing a lot of work all day, carrying everything around, the weight of the world on your shoulders and all. So relax the back, sit straight as you can, so we'll get a good breath going on there. Then the shoulders, just kind of do a few little shoulder gyrations like that, kind of get the tension out of the shoulders, let it come down. Even take your other hand and kind of just brush the tension out of your arms. Give yourself a little bit of a massage there on your arms, your hands. Rub your hands, let the fingers get all nice and relaxed. Let them just sit comfortably on your legs or on your knees. All right, then your neck. Stretch your neck back, forward, left, right. You feel all the tension in your neck. Just let that go. Just let it relax. Now we're going to work on our breathing. Most people in the West especially, we have a tendency to breathe very shallow. Breath is actually very important to your physical well-being, and it actually has a big effect on your consciousness as well. If you can slow down your breath, you'll find that it calms your entire body. So let's just begin by just taking a few nice deep breaths. You're going to inhale deeply through the nose, and you're going to take it all the way down below your abdomen. You're going to start filling from the bottom of your belly, 4 inches below the navel. It's called the dantian. You're going to fill that, and you're going to let the breath fill up, till finally your chest gets fully filled up with air. And then we're going to slowly exhale, and we're going to let that air out through the mouth. Slowly exhaling. You'll feel the chest relax, and the stomach area, then all the way down to the lower abdomen. Just let all that air come back out. Don't be in a hurry. This is just nice, slow breathing. It's not a competition. You just do it at your own pace. So just breathe in. At the end of the breath, kind of squeeze your abdomen, get that last little bit of air. We're going to get all the stale air out of our lungs. We'll do a few more like that. So you should experience it now. Your whole body is calming down. So now we're going to take this experience and we're going to add a transcendental component. We're going to add the Guranga mantra. We're going to pronounce the Guranga mantra in 4 syllables. Goranga. Repeat it with me. Goranga. So what we're going to do is on the inhale, we're going to mentally chant this Goranga mantra in the mind. We're going to use this as a tool to focus the energy of the mind. And then, once the inhale is complete, we're going to exhale through the mouth, and we're going to audibly say the Goranga mantra as we exhale. So we'll take a breath and we'll chant mentally. And we'll exhale with Now do this at your own pace. You don't have to do it at the same rate I am, but we'll do a few of these. We'll just inhale, chanting the mantra mentally. One more. So this is Goranga breathing, and it is a very relaxing meditation, and it's very powerful as well. It will take some practice. Your mind is in the beginning especially is going to have that tendency to want to go in all different kinds of directions. That's okay, that's natural. But just slowly, gradually bring the sound, bring the mind back to the sound of the mantra, whether it's mentally or externally. And just try to focus your attention on that sound. It's not important to understand what the sound means. That meaning of the sound will become revealed to you the more as you progress in your meditation practice. So if you're like me, you're now feeling quite relaxed. So the third type of mantra meditation we're going to practice tonight is called Japa Yoga. While Goranga breathing is also very nice, like Kirtan, it requires special circumstances. You need to be in a kind of quiet place. You need to be able to set aside a certain amount of time for it and focus, which isn't always the case. So we spend a lot of time, most people, waiting in our life. Whether we're waiting in line, or we're waiting on hold, or we're this or that. What do you do with your consciousness then? So this japa meditation, it's a private meditation. Like the Guranga breathing, it's something you do on your own. But we're going to take the mantra and we're going to incorporate the sound of touch. We're going to be using what's called a set of japa mala beads. These are japa mala beads. And this is what's called a half set of beads, half round. There are 54 beads on this set. And then there's also this little top bead. I don't know if you can see it very well. But there's a little bead at the top. This is called the head bead. And so we're going to start. We're going to pick up the beads. We're going to hold them in our right hand. And we're going to be incorporating the sound of touch by we're going to chant a mantra. And as we chant the mantra, we're going to finger the bead. We're just going to roll the bead back and forth on our fingers like this. And we're going to use the Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana mantra with this. And the way you do it is you chant one mantra on each bead. You chant the mantra. You chant the mantra just loud enough that you can hear it. You try to focus your mind on the sound of the mantra. Then you go to the next beat and you chant the mantra again. Then you go to the next beat and you continue like that all the way around till you come up to the head beat on the other side. When you get to the head beat, you stop, you turn the beads around in your hand, and then we'll go back the other way. So every time you hit the head beat, that's called one round or one set. The nice thing about Japa Yoga is that, just as we were talking about before, how this mantra meditation should actually become, it's a process. It's a process of learning to control and purify the consciousness, the mind. And the more you do it, the better you will become at it. The better you become at it, the more benefit you will reach from this process. So the nice thing about japa meditation, it gives us a way to kind of keep track. I can take just like I said, I was training for the marathon. I used to have this massage therapist. She was a marathon runner. So she joined this group, and every day they would start training right after the marathon in Honolulu. They'd start the week after that training. And they'd start out and they would just do stretches the first week they'd get together. And they'd stretch, limber up a bit, spend an hour just stretching. Then the next week they'd get together and they would do a little bit of jogging. They'd jog around the block a few times and things like that. Then they would slowly build up. And so then over the course of the year, they would just keep increasing and increasing and building on their practice till by the time it came time for the marathon again, they're ready to run 26 miles. So this life is kind of like a marathon. We're in it for the long haul. We don't know how long we're going to be in this body. There's no guarantees. But we want to make the best of it. So if you take this japa meditation, you can actually use this as a tool to build your spiritual strength. Just like a weightlifter or a marathon runner, you work up to it. So it's the best way to do it is to approach it and say, I'm going to chant one mantra every day, first thing in the morning, and one round every night before I go to bed. Start off small, something you can easily obtain, but then gradually build on it so that you get up to the point where you're chanting more and more. I personally spend an hour and a half every day chanting this japa yoga, this japa meditation. It started early in the morning while everything is still quiet. By spending an hour and a half in this process of chanting on these beads, it prepares me for the whole day. Then whatever life throws at me, I'm able to actually deal with it on a spiritual level instead of just being overcome by the modes of material nature. So this japa yoga is very powerful. You'll find that it can become a very important part of your spiritual practice. So we'll chant a round together. Again, if you can contact us through Yoga Kirtan Hawaii on the website, or you can order these beads. I'm sure you can find them on other places on the internet. They're Japa Mala beads. You can either get the 54 bead set like this, or you can get the 108 bead set, whatever you want to work with. But we're going to do a 54 bead set tonight. Like I said, this is a personal meditation, so you chant at your own pace. But you want to be able to chant just loud enough that you can hear it, just fast enough that you can properly pronounce each syllable of the mantra. And you want to gently place the mind on the sound of the mantra. And then when it wanders away, you want to bring it back. So we'll begin. We're going to start on one side of the head beat. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. 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 Gopala Govinda. So that is one half round of Japa Mala. Again, I can't encourage you enough to take advantage of this practice of chanting japa. You will find that it is a very powerful form of mantra meditation. We've spoken a lot tonight about spiritual sound vibrations and transcendental sound vibrations. What is spirit? Everything that appears to be alive appears to be alive because it's being inhabited by a spiritual entity. This material body we have is made of dead matter. We see this. If you've ever seen a dead body, immediately it becomes very apparent that something is drastically changed, right? As soon as the spirit soul, the spiritual entity leaves the body immediately begins to break down. It goes from a complex state to a simple state. So there are actually two energies in this world. There's material energy, which is dead matter, and then there's spiritual energy, which is life. Anything that it seems to be alive is due to the essence of spirit. So a spiritualist is anyone who appreciates this truth, that there are two separate energies, spirit and matter. Whereas a materialist is someone who thinks that there is only one energy, matter. And so the materialist, as a result, will seek all of their happiness, all of their fulfillment on the material platform. Whereas someone who is a spiritualist will look for their happiness in the spiritual realm, because they realize that my actual essence is spirit, not matter. So I'm a spiritual being temporarily residing in this material body. This material body is going to pass. We don't know when. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I might live to be 104 years old like my aunt. But at some point, I'm going to be forced out of this material body. The question is, where are you going to go next? Right? And not only that, we're seeking happiness in so many ways. Where is my happiness to be found? We look for happiness in relationships. We look for happiness in love. We look for happiness in food. We look for happiness in music. We look for happiness in social acceptance. We look for happiness in so many ways, and we're always frustrated. That's because we're looking on the wrong level. We're looking on the material level, relating to each other from the level of I am this body, I am this mind, I am this collective experience that I call myself. But in actuality, I'm not that. I'm a spiritual entity that's temporarily residing in this body. And it's only when I start living on that platform that I can experience true happiness and true joy, because that's what yoga means. Yoga means to link up or harmonize with my true essence. So we'll have other events where we go in more depth about this philosophy of being spirit instead of matter. But this being a transcendental process, the nice thing about it is that this information actually becomes revealed to you. It's not something that you necessarily have to study and read in a book or whatever, but simply through this process of chanting these transcendental sounds, this information will become revealed to you through your heart. Your heart of hearts, not that little muscle that's pumping in your chest. So let's spend another 5 minutes in Kirtan. We'll do the same Gopala Govinda Rama mantra. And thank you for joining us. This process of Kirtan and discussing spiritual matters, this is real life. This is what social exchanges are really meant to be on the human level. Animals engage in eating. Animals engage in sleeping. Animals engage in mating and defending their territory. So a human life that is simply spent eating, sleeping, mating, and defending is a waste. That's just glorified animal life, polished animal life. If you want to really actually live a human life, you have to start asking this question. Who am I? Why am I here? What is the real meaning of life? What is my real purpose? What is my real function? And where is love to be found? Real love, not this business arrangement that passes for love in the material world, where if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And then if you don't satisfy me the way I think I deserve to be satisfied, I'll leave after that, right? No. This is about developing spiritual relationships that go beyond this material body. So when you chant this Gopala Govinda Rama or Gauranga mantra with me, please accept it as a spiritual gift, a spiritual offering out of love. Let this enter into your heart. Let it touch the real you that's there. We're always in so much anxiety. There's so much fear in this world because we don't know what's going to happen next. We're not the controllers. We're not in control of this world. So we must learn to find our true happiness in things that go beyond this temporary world and enter into this spiritual consciousness. Haribo Nitai Go, Nitai Go, Haribo. Nitai Gaur Haribo, Haribo Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur Haribo. Haribo, namaste. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you take advantage of the other programs that Yoga Kirtan Hawaii does on their Facebook page. So namaste. So until we meet again, Haribo.